Hey, everybody, this is TJR. The list for Record Store Day, April 2022, just dropped. And I thought I would talk about some of the things that caught my eye and my interest, and some things that just caught my eye and I have to comment on, even though I'm probably not going to get it. Now, first of all, if you're new to Record Store Day at all, I thought I should mention the following. There's basically three categories. First, there is the Record Store Day exclusives. Now, these releases are exclusive to Record Store Day. They're not going to get a nationwide release later on down the line, or at least they're not supposed to. But these are exclusive to Record Store Day. They tend to be very limited in numbers. And once they're gone, they're gone. Now, there's also what's called regional releases. Regional releases are also exclusive to Record Store Day, but they're not available everywhere. They're oftentimes focused on a certain region, and so they can be extremely rare and hard to get once they're gone. Then you've got what's called Record Store Day first releases. Now, these are released on Record Store Day, but these will get a national release somewhere down the line. It might be 6 months down the line. It might be a year, but they will eventually get a much larger national release. However, with that, there are sometimes going to be differences between the Record Store Day release version and the national release. The Record Store Day version might be on colored vinyl, whereas the national version might be on standard black vinyl. But you never know about these things. They could change. And again, this is just what interests me personally. So if I didn't bring up something that you're excited about, it doesn't mean that it's not something good or worth getting. It may just be that I'm not that familiar with this artist. This is just what I'm interested in. And I'm going to be curious to know what you're interested in. So I encourage you to leave comments about that. I should also mention that most of the releases I'm going to talk about in this video are from the Record Store Day exclusive list. There's only one regional release that caught my eye, and there's only one Record Store Day first release that caught my eye. But let me go over these with you here. So up first, we have America, Alternates and Rarities. This is described as a new collection of rare and unreleased tracks curated by longtime America archivist Jeff Larson. Includes alternate mixes of Ventura Highway, A Horse with No Name, as well as early versions of Foolin', Riverside, the Spanish version of Sister Golden Hair, and more on 140-gram Coke bottle clear vinyl. It's going to be limited to 2,500 copies. This is definitely one that I'm really, really interested in. So this is going to make me get up early in the morning to try to get a copy of this here. Next is another one that I'm really interested in. And this was originally scheduled for the last Record Store Day, but got pulled and is now coming out this April. This is the Blue Velvet original motion picture soundtrack by Angelo Badalamenti. Hopefully I say his name correctly. This is a 2 LP set. It is limited to 4,500 copies. And of course, if you know me, you know that I'm a huge fan of David Lynch. I think his movies are brilliant. And I don't believe I've seen a soundtrack for this movie available anywhere. So I'm really, really excited about getting this. And this is another reason why I'm going to get up very early for this April's Record Store Day. Now, I have this album, but this just caught my eye, and I just thought I'd talk about it. The Black Pumas Collector's Edition 7-inch box set. Collector's Edition box set includes 6 7-inch singles with deluxe artwork and 2 bonus tracks. I really like this album, but I already own the deluxe 2 CD version. Again, as good as I think this album is, the practical side of me says take a pass, because this is basically the album that I already have as 7-inch singles. You get a few bonuses, which I'm sure will be available for streaming at some later time. It might become a cool collectible. It might not. But man, I have to say, they are really milking this album. I mean, it's great, but first there was the single CD version. Then there was the deluxe edition where it was 2 CDs. There was the single LP. There was the 2 LP set. And then there was just the LP with just the bonus tracks in case you already bought the single LP. They're really milking this, but it is a great album. You should go check it out. I recommend the 2 CD deluxe edition. Now, next we have 2 releases from David Bowie. We've got David Bowie Brilliant Adventure EP, and we've got David Bowie Toy EP. Now, these are EPs, and I guess you could say they're abbreviated versions of two very recent, larger set releases by David Bowie. I think that these are probably only going to appeal to collectors who already bought these two sets and will want them to complete their collection, since it contains a few, each one contains a few extra bonus tracks. But otherwise, I don't see much appeal with these. I would think you'd probably want to go get those actual full releases first if you're a Bowie fan. Also, The Cure, Pornography. This is a picture disc. And this is the second time I've seen a Cure album release as a picture disc. I bring this up because Robert has always been telling me that I need to start listening to The Cure. He's a big fan, and I've never really gotten into them. But I've been thinking, yeah, I do need to listen to The Cure. And I think if they would do something special for Record Store Day, I'd probably say, hey, let's just pick it up and this is where we'll start. And I thought about it the last Record Store Day that I took part in, where they were releasing a Cure album, but then it was on picture disc. And I don't like picture discs. I won't get them. My understanding is they just don't sound as good as a standard vinyl release. So I'm just not going to pick them up. But I thought I'd point that out. I wish they'd do something special. But regardless, I should probably just start listening to The Cure. Next here, this one really perplexes me. I can see where some fans of Doctor Who might want to get into this. I like Doctor Who. I'm a big fan of the show. But this is an exclusive to audio Doctor Who adventure featuring the 10th Doctor, played by David Tennant, in the acclaimed hit BBC TV series. Dead Air was voted Audiobook of the Year 2010 in a poll by audiobook.co.uk, first time on vinyl. So yeah, this is an audiobook. If I wanted to get this, I would just get an audiobook. I wouldn't buy a vinyl record. To me, I don't see much appeal in listening to an audiobook on vinyl. I can see if you're a really big Doctor Who fan, this might be a cool collector's item for you. But yeah, I just kind of was puzzled by this. I had to bring it up for this reason. And any chance to talk about Doctor Who. The Doors, L.A. Woman. This is a 4 LP set. It's limited to 11,000 copies. So that's a lot for a Record Store Day. This is, and I'm sorry, I said the title wrong. This is The Doors L.A. Woman Sessions, a breakout standalone 4 LP set curated by Bruce Botnick, made up of over 2.5 hours of outtakes from the bonus content from the 50th anniversary set. So I already have this 50th anniversary set. So I have all this content already on CD. And these are outtakes. I love listening to outtakes, but I have no desire to own them on vinyl. So I'm not going to get this because I already own it. But I thought I should mention it for Doors fans out there who might be interested. And it did catch my eye, the uniqueness of this. Next, we have Foo Fighters, Making a Fire. This is a special 7-inch single for Record Store Day featuring 2 Foo Fighters tracks reversioned by some of their musical friends. Making a Fire reversion includes contributions from members of the Dap Kings, the Budos Band, Antabalas, the Tennessee Trucks Band, and more. Chasing Birds reversion includes contributions from Ben Jaffe, Charlie Gabriel, Clint, hopefully I say it right, Medgan, Walter Harris, Brandon Lewis, Ronald Johnson, and more. I love the Foo Fighters, and I think I'd be excited about this if it was a full-length album of these reversions, but it's just 2 songs. So I'm just not excited, but I thought I would, this caught my eye and I just wanted to mention it. Next is Billy F. Gibbons' Hardware Deluxe Edition. Now, of course, I own this album on vinyl already, but this is a CD release, and it's a CD release only. It's not coming out on vinyl. This is kind of unique for Record Store Day. This is basically the CD version of the album, packaged in a collectible 3D tin case with expanded booklet. Now, I already own this on vinyl, but I don't own it on CD. And I thought to myself, you know, if I was going to get it on CD, this would be the way to go in this limited edition packaging. And it's limited to 2,000 copies. It's also an exclusive release. And if I can get this one, I think I'm going to pick it up. The next thing that caught my eye was the Jackson 5 ABC, quantity 6,500 copies, an exclusive release. The second studio album by the Jackson 5, which peaked at #1 on the Billboard charts in 1970 and sold millions of copies worldwide, includes the hits ABC and The Love You Saved, which reached #1 on Billboard's Soul Singles chart and unseated the Beatles' Let It Be on the Hot 100. available for the first time on 100-gram blue LP. I bring this up for a couple of reasons. One, I really should listen to this album. I haven't. Two, I just have to relate a story about my older brother, whom I lost over the last about a year and a half ago. He was one of my inspirations to play guitar, and he was a huge blues fan, hardcore blues fan. And one day he and I were talking about musical guilty pleasures, and I was telling him about music artists that would surprise people if they heard that I like an album by them or like their music. And he listened to me and he said, and he confessed, basically, he said, you know, I really like the Jackson 5. And I looked at him, I said, I don't blame you, man. Those are some killer hit songs. Anyways, I just had to share that. Next, Jazz Sabbath, Volume 2. 4,000 copies, Record Store Day exclusive. This, of course, is a fictional band. The story behind them is that Black Sabbath stole all their music. They were a jazz band back in the mid-late 60s, I think, and Black Sabbath stole all their music. Of course, this is just a fictional band, but I think it's a cool idea. Now, this album is already available on CD and vinyl. I'm just going to read from the release materials here. This limited translucent natural vinyl mono edition for Record Store Day 2022 comes with a bonus track, a bonus DVD, and alternate artwork. So first of all, I'm going to assume that the alternate artwork is not what's pictured here on the website, but I think it's great that it's coming with a bonus track and a bonus DVD. That's awesome. But I'm puzzled by this bit about limited translucent natural vinyl mono edition. So first of all, translucent vinyl. Hey, that sounds great. Natural vinyl? I'm not sure what that means. Versus unnatural vinyl? I don't know. Also, mono edition. Is this a mono mix? Or is it just simply folded down from stereo to mono? I don't understand that. Part of the reason for buying vintage albums in mono is that they were mixed for the mono format. This is because back in the day, not everybody had stereo. Many people only had a mono system, so they were specifically, intentionally mixed for mono, that listening experience. So, but it doesn't say mixed for mono. I have a feeling this is just kind of a, I don't know, con job. That's the word for it. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But yeah. I just don't trust what I'm reading here. And so if I was to pick this up, I'd just go out and get the stereo version that's already available. So next on the list here, we have Joni Mitchell Blue Highlights, quantity 9,000 copies, featuring highlights from the second volume of the ongoing Joni Mitchell Archive series. This release consists of extremely rare recordings from Joni's archives associated with her classic album Blue, which celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2021 and is created with Joni's insight, cooperation, and creative input. So this is a compilation, but this is all going to be released on a later set. Still, if you're not a hardcore Joni Mitchell fan, maybe you might want to check this out instead. This is really cool. The Suite. I thought they were just called Suite, but it's listed here as The Suite. Platinum Rare Volume 2. This is a 2 LP set, limited to 2,500 copies. Platinum Rare Volume 2 captures the 4 founding members of the legendary glam hard rock band The Suite and comes from the personal vault of lead guitarist Andy Scott. Many of these listed tracks never saw the light of day on any release, making this collection incredibly in demand for the starving classic collector looking for more rarities after Volume 1 sold out on Record Store Day 2021. Volume 2 features rare, unreleased versions of more fan favorite songs such as Fox on the Run, Action, Love is Like Oxygen, Lies in Your Eyes. So yeah, very cool. I might be thinking about this one. I missed Volume 1, but I might just check this one out. We'll see what happens. Okay, this I have to mention just because it sounds like a fun release. Various artists, 50 Years of TV's Greatest Hits, 2 LP set. This is a compilation of all the top TV show themes of the past, a must-have for fans of classic TV shows. Hearing these theme songs consistently evokes a strong emotional response, pointing to a time when everyone watched the same TV shows again and again for the very first time on splatter vinyl. I grew up in that era. there were only 3 networks, and everybody did watch the same shows because we didn't have the internet, we didn't have streaming, we didn't have cable, we didn't have home video, none of that. So yeah, and as a kid, before I got into popular music, I actually had like a little tape recorder, and I sat in front of the TV and recorded my favorite TV theme songs because I really enjoyed hearing them. Still, though, with all that said, I don't think I need a collection of TV theme songs on vinyl. If I was to get one, it would just be a CD. But still, for the funness of that, I had to just bring it up. Now, we're getting to the end here of the exclusive releases. I'm going to bring this one up too. Stevie Nicks' Belladonna 2 LP set. This is a double vinyl version for Record Store Day 2022. Includes the remastered original album and an LP of studio outtakes, B-sides, and demos, many for the first time on vinyl from the 2016 Belladonna Deluxe Edition. So this was released back in 2016 as a 2 CD set. They did release a vinyl version, but it didn't have any of the bonus tracks. So you're getting basically a vinyl equivalent of the 2 CD Deluxe Edition, which I don't own, by the way, but I wanted to bring that up to you. So if you've ever wanted to get this on vinyl, including the bonus tracks, this is your chance. Once again, I don't need to hear bonus tracks on vinyl. I would just probably prefer to pick it up on vinyl or just on CD. I would want to get the deluxe edition on. If I got the deluxe edition, I'd just get the CD version. But I thought I'd bring that up here since this is kind of a unique thing. And once again, it is a pretty big release though. It's 15,000 copies. That's pretty big for Record Store Day. So if you're a Stevie Nicks fan and you're thinking about this one, your chances are pretty good that you'll probably get it. At least I hope you do. Now that's it for the Record Store Day exclusive releases. There is one release amongst the regional releases that caught my attention. Although I have a weird feeling about this one, I probably won't get it. And I should also point out that this release is marked for June 18th, 2022. Be careful as you look at the list. There are a few releases that are notated this way. But it's a record that I really like. Keith Richards' Talk Is Cheap / Live at the Hollywood Palladium. I love this album. I owned the original release on CD. I bought the deluxe 2 CD edition. And I also picked it up on vinyl not long ago. Now this, however, this release I should mention is being released on cassette. It's a double cassette box set. Specially created RSD exclusive double cassette release featuring Keith Richards' debut solo album, Talk Is Cheap, and the live release from the Talk Is Cheap tour, Live at the Palladium. Now, I don't own Live at the Palladium, but if this were a CD or vinyl release, I'd probably be interested, even though I already own the record on vinyl. But it's a cassette release. I don't even own a cassette player that I can play these on. And so it is a cool collector's item, though. The collector in me feels a little bit of the bug for it. It is a regional release, which is going to make it very rare. The quantity is only 650 copies. So yeah, this is really rare. There's a good chance it may not even be available. I guess if you can snag this one, get it. It's probably, even if you don't have a cassette player, even if you don't care about this album, it is a great album. But if you don't care, I would recommend you probably get it because it's probably going to be a collector's item. More than likely. Of course, you never know with these things. You never know what'll happen. But yeah, just a real kind of oddball thing for what I think is an awesome album. That's the only thing from the regional releases that caught my eye. Only one release for the Record Store Day first caught my eye, and that is going to be the 40th anniversary release of The Who's It's Hard, their last studio album. This will be a 2 LP version, limited to quantity of 6,000. 2 LP set, of course. The disc 1 is going to be on orange vinyl, contains a half-speed remaster of the album. A half-speed remaster sounds great to me. Disc 2, which will be on yellow vinyl, continues the rest of the album with additional rare and unreleased material. It also includes a poster that I don't think was ever included on the original. And of course, I own this album on CD, but this is not a Record Store Day exclusive. This is once again, a Record Store Day first. So this will get a larger nationwide release down the line. And I'm just going to wait for that. And I'm just going to get it on CD. I don't need to own this on vinyl. I'll just pick it up on CD. But yeah, it's hard. by The Who. And that's the only one for Records Today First that caught my eye. And that's what got my attention. Basically, the two things I'm most excited about is the America release, the Blue Velvet soundtrack release, and then the Billy Gibbons CD edition of Hardware, the deluxe edition. Those are the three things that really are I'm excited by and that I will get up early for. Otherwise, we'll just see what happens. But anyways, though, that's what caught my eye. Please let me know what caught your eye. What are you excited about? Please tell us, share your thoughts on it. I'm curious to know. As always, if you like what I do here, be sure to click like, click subscribe, smash the bell notification icon, and share these videos with anyone you think might have an interest in them. And I want to thank my patron supporters. Got to give a shout out to them for helping me to make more videos. And if you'd like to be a patron supporter, please go to patreon.com/TJR, the original, and make a monthly donation of whatever you can afford. If you can't be a patron supporter, that's okay. I understand. You can help the channel by just clicking like. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Looking forward to April, and hope you all stay safe and healthy. Take care. Bye-bye.